It's over. Not the fight itself, but the enemy's upper hand. That cycle that felt like a life sentence, it's been overturned. Not as a maybe, not as a possibility, but as a sovereign decree. You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. There is a war being fought with your name on it at this very moment, and the right side is winning. Stay with me until the very end, because before we're done, you're going to receive a full decree of protection to seal this victory once and for all. This isn't just spiritual weakness. It's that heavy sensation of having prayed, having believed, and having done everything right, only to wake up at 3 a.m. with a lead weight in your chest, like the heavens are made of brass right above your head. It's not a lack of faith. It's when Sunday night rolls around and you're staring at the ceiling in the dark, unable to sleep, mentally replaying every setback from the past week. It's that voice inside whispering that maybe you aren't that special after all. That maybe the destiny you feel deep down is just a recurring hallucination. It isn't just being tired. It's that strange space between burnout and suspicion. The feeling that the more you grow spiritually, the more the world pushes back. The almost deals that vanish. The relationships that go cold without warning. The doors that were wide open but suddenly slam shut for no logical reason. This isn't a coincidence. It has a name. And the reason it's happening specifically to you, not to the neighbor who's just coasting, not to the person standing still, tells you more about who you truly are than you can imagine. You're still standing. You're still here. After everything. That's not a small thing. That's evidence. Consider the like button, your public amen. Heaven records what you confess in the light. Today, you're going to understand 3 things that will fundamentally change how you interpret everything happening in your life. First, the spiritual truth behind every roadblock that appeared just as you were about to level up. It's not random harassment. It's the validation of your destination. Second, a 3-step protocol you can do today to position yourself on the right side of this battle. Not as a victim, but as a conscious heir. Third, a declaration you'll carry into tomorrow morning. Short, specific, and designed to anchor your identity before the world tries to talk you out of it. I placed you in the center of this fire because only those worth the attack are worth the crown. Stand still. Everything I am doing in your name is about to be revealed. Don't click away. What comes next is exactly what the enemy doesn't want you to grasp. Let me pause for a second. That Sunday night feeling in the dark, replaying your failures. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I need to tell you, that's not a lack of faith. That is a spiritual blockage. A blockage doesn't yield to more of the same prayer. It yields to the right tool. That's what a woman discovered when she found herself right where you are and went straight to the first comment. She started the Miracle Journal. 21 days, 3 cycles, breaking, cleansing, and reclaiming. She came back 4 days later and said, on the second night, I slept without replaying my failures for the first time in months. The link is in the pinned comment right now. Go check it out before we move on. What follows will show you exactly where that blockage crept in. Now, close your eyes for a moment, or just look away from the screen for a few seconds. What I'm about to show you carries more weight when you receive it with your full attention. There are specific signs that you are in the center of an active spiritual battle. Not a generic war, but one addressed specifically to you. And you've probably experienced at least 3 of them without knowing what they really were. The first sign is the wrong timing door. You're 2 days away from closing an opportunity and it vanishes without explanation. The recruiter stops calling. The email goes to spam. The meeting is canceled last minute. You called it bad luck or bad timing or it wasn't meant to be. But in the spiritual realm, there's a different reading. The closer you are to taking possession, the more intense the opposition becomes, because that territory has already been allocated to you. bad luck is random. What you're living through has a pattern. The second sign is the exhaustion that sleep can't fix. You sleep 8 hours and wake up heavy. You spend the whole weekend on the couch, but by Monday morning, the weight is back as if you never rested at all. You called it stress or just the grind. It's not physical. It's the accumulation of spiritual pressure on someone being prepared to carry more. Your body signals the weight before your mind even realizes what's happening. The third sign is the internal devil's advocate. You're about to take the next step, ask for the raise, launch the project, have that hard conversation, and a very logical voice appears, telling you to wait. It's not the right time. I need more prep. I'll do it when I feel more secure. You called that prudence or wisdom, but that voice isn't prudence. It's the enemy disguised as your own common sense. Genuine prudence brings peace. This voice brings paralysis. The fourth sign is the sudden chill in relationships. Someone close to you goes silent during the week you need support most. A friendship gets weird for no reason. Your family just can't seem to understand what you're going through. You called it growing apart or just adult life. But strategic isolation is one of the oldest tactics in the book. When God is preparing someone for a specific assignment, He often mutes the human noise that would compete with the voice you need to hear. Loneliness before a mission isn't abandonment. It's an orientation. The fifth sign is the imminence, an expectation without a defined object. You can't name what you're waiting for, but there's a restlessness that isn't anxiety. It's anticipation. Like something is on the verge of breaking through, and you're the first to know it before you know it. You called it paranoia or wishful thinking. It isn't. That is legitimate spiritual perception. Your spirit is registering the movement of heaven before your eyes see the result. If you recognized any of these signs in your life, type "free" in the comments. Heaven records what you declare in the open. Close your eyes again. Take a deep breath. This next part won't work if your focus is split. Let me tell you about a man who showed up to the battlefield as a delivery boy. David went to the front lines to bring lunch to his brothers. He wasn't there as a soldier or a strategist. He was the errand boy. Nobody in the army of Israel saw him as relevant. His brothers looked down on him. The officers ignored him. But while all the trained soldiers were retreating from Goliath, 40 days of backing down, 40 days of accumulated fear, David was asking a different question. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? It wasn't raw courage, it was clear identity. David knew who he was in the eyes of God, and that redefined the size of the enemy in front of him. Goliath wasn't too big to hit. He was too big for anyone without an identity to face. With a clear identity, the enemy that paralyzes trained soldiers becomes a stepping stone, not a roadblock. The battle being fought in your name right now has the same dynamic. The enemy isn't too big. You just haven't fully seen who you are on the side that matters yet. Think of an athlete moments before the biggest game of their career. The locker room is silent. Everyone is locked in their own head. The opponent is real, trained, and hungry. They're right across the hall, warming up with the same grit. That athlete has only one differential in that moment. It's not technique, it's not physical stats. It's the absolute certainty that this moment was made for them. That years of training, of injuries, of 4 a.m. gym sessions, of days they wanted to quit. Everything culminated at this specific point. You didn't get here by accident. The sleepless nights, the prayers that felt like they hit the ceiling, the years of waiting that seemed pointless. That was the training. And the battle happening right now isn't a sign that you're losing. It's the sign that you're in the locker room for the game you were born to play. David went from anonymity straight to the front lines. The athlete goes from the locker room straight to the arena. You are in that exact transition, closer than it looks. Type David in the comments. If you recognize that you are in that transition right now, Let me stop for one full minute. Up to this point, you've seen 5 concrete signs of an active spiritual battle. You heard about David, who arrived with no status and left as a national hero. You've understood that isolation can be preparation, not abandonment. That the voice telling you to wait might be an enemy in disguise. That anticipation without an object is legitimate spiritual perception. Here are 3 objective facts before we go further. First, targeted spiritual attacks are always addressed to people with an assignment. You aren't attacked because you're weak. You're attacked because what is inside you is a real threat to the enemy's agenda. Targets with no value don't face organized resistance. Second, the timing of the resistance isn't random. It spikes right before the breakthrough, because the enemy has access to heaven's calendar even if he can't change the outcome. The intensification of pressure isn't a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're close. Third, you're still here. Every attempt to take you out has failed. That's not just a lucky streak. That is active protection working even while you doubted it. And here is who you are in the middle of all this. I did not abandon you on the nights you felt forsaken. I was positioning you. Every door that closed because I already had one open ahead of you that you couldn't see yet. You weren't forgotten. You were being kept for the right hour. There are 3 identities that define who you are in this battle. These aren't just fancy titles. They are functional descriptions of what you carry and what that authorizes you to do. The first identity is the chosen before the dawn. Before any fight, before any victory, before any result you could show for yourself. Your assignment was sealed. Not after you proved you deserved it. Before the start. What this means, every attack against you was actually an authentication. The enemy doesn't hunt those who don't have a destination. The intensity of what you've lived through isn't evidence that something went wrong. It's evidence that there was something worth protecting. This identity authorizes you to be living proof that God doesn't abandon His own. Your life story will become the winning argument for someone else who is about to quit. You aren't going through this just to get out. You're going through it so others can see that getting out is possible. The second identity is the relentless warrior. You were forged in resistance. Your losses didn't break you. They toughened you in the right direction. There's a difference between a hardness that closes the heart and a hardness that strengthens the spine. What you've endured did the latter. Every time you stayed when you could have walked away, every night you prayed even when you felt absolutely nothing, every morning you got up without knowing how, that was persistence training. This identity authorizes a spiritual authority that doesn't come from easy wins. It comes from victories won on ground that tried to swallow you whole. That kind of authority carries weight. When you speak from this place, your words have backing. The third identity is the heir of the finished victory. The battle in your name didn't start with you. It was initiated by heaven, and heaven doesn't start what it won't finish. You aren't fighting for victory. You're being positioned to receive what's already been guaranteed. The struggle you're in isn't to prove you're worthy. It's to put you in the right spot when the decree is executed. This identity authorizes you to live with the mindset of an heir, not a beggar. That changes your posture, your prayers, and what you accept as normal for your life. A beggar asks for what they can get. An heir claims what is theirs. Write in the comments which of these 3 identities you recognize in yourself right now. And subscribe to the channel so the next word reaches you exactly when you need it. Already positioned. You've just recognized who you are. Now you need the tool to unlock what's been held back in the battle. I didn't invent what I'm about to show you. It was discovered during a search to understand why people who believe, who pray, and who do their part stay blocked while others move forward. The answer wasn't the amount of faith. It was the existence of specific blockages that generic prayer doesn't move. Blocks that need a structured process to be identified, dissolved, and replaced. The Miracle Journal. 21 days to unlock your retained blessings. 3 sequential cycles, each with a specific mission. Cycle 1 is the break. It identifies and dissolves the specific blocks that are stopping your momentum. This isn't generic prayer, it's surgical diagnosis and removal. You aren't praying into the void. You're praying with precision on what is obstructing the path. Cycle 2 is the cleansing. It purifies the spiritual ground after the break. A block removed without a cleansing tends to return because the space stays open. This cycle seals what was opened and prepares the ground to receive. Cycle 3 is the possession. It positions you to actively receive what has already been decreed. This isn't passive waiting. It's the posture of an heir in motion. You stop asking and start receiving what you already have the authorization to hold. 2 gifts come with the protocol. The first is the prayer guide. 15 prayers for specific moments, including those midnight attacks I described at the start of this video. So when that weight returns at 3:00 a.m., you have exactly what to say in your hand. No improvising in the dark. The second is the Manual of Psalms. 10 dotted psalms with historical context, meditation, and declarations of faith. This ensures the words you pray carry the weight of someone who knows what they're declaring. You won't just be repeating old words with empty meanings. You'll be speaking with the authority of someone who understands the why. The cost? Less than a Starbucks latte and a muffin. Less than a fast food meal. Not because it's cheap, but because the blockage it removes costs you far more than any price tag. Now, if you're feeling resistance right now, that voice saying, "I'll think about it, maybe later. I don't know if this is for me," that voice has a name. It's the very blockage this protocol removes. Hesitation here isn't prudence. It's the enemy recognizing exactly what this process will undo, and using the last tool he has, making you wait. Let me tell you about 2 people who were exactly where you are. One woman was 42, single, and felt like her dating life had an invisible ceiling. She'd get to a certain point and always hit the same wall. She described that 4th sign perfectly, at the people vanishing every time she was about to move forward. On the 14th day of the protocol, she felt a sudden urge to call her sister, whom she hadn't spoken to in 2 years. It wasn't a strategic move. It was an unexpected piece. Her sister picked up on the first ring. They talked for 90 minutes. They didn't fix everything, but the door that had been slammed for 2 years swung open. A man came to me with a business deal that had been stuck for 8 months. The partner had ghosted him. The process was stalled. He described the first sign perfectly. The open door that wouldn't close, but wouldn't move. On the 18th day of the protocol, the partner who had vanished contacted him out of the blue. The contract was signed 3 days later. There is a 7-day guarantee. If you go through the first 7 days and don't feel a single difference, no clarity, no stillness, no movement, you get every penny back. No red tape, no questions. The cost of not acting is this. Tonight, another night replaying what went wrong. Another week carrying the weight you should have already handed over. A year from now, your kids growing up seeing a parent who believed but stayed in the same spot. Your lineage inheriting not the victory, but the pattern of the block. The decree has been spoken. The question isn't whether it will happen. The question is whether you will be positioned when it does. The link is in the first pinned comment. Not tomorrow. Not after your shower. Not after you check with someone. Now. While this word is still alive in you. The next step starts with a protocol you can do tonight. It's the first movement of what the journal will complete. The protocol is called the Decree of the 3 Positions. You can do it tonight, wherever you are. Step 1. The Witness Position. Sit with your palms open on your knees. Not in begging mode, in receiving mode. There is a difference. Begging is from the bottom up, hoping to be heard. Receiving is from someone who knows that what was sent has arrived. Say out loud, I am chosen before this fight even began. My identity does not depend on the outcome. Pause for 30 seconds in silence. Don't analyze what you feel. Just be. Step 2. Naming the block. Identify out loud the sign that resonated most with you in this video. The exhaustion that sleep won't fix. The door that shut at the wrong time. The voice telling you to wait. Name it out loud, not as a confession of defeat, but as a diagnosis. This block has a name. It is not me. It is on me, not in me. That distinction matters. What is on you can be removed. What you believe is, you can't be taken off without tearing you apart. Step 3. The declaration of decree. Stand up. Use a firm voice. Not loud, but firm. Firmness isn't volume. It's conviction. The battle in my name has already been decided. I position myself on the winning side. What is mine is released. It is done. The sign that it worked isn't euphoria. It's not chills or tears or a rush. It's stillness. A peace that defies rational explanation given your current circumstances. If it comes, stay in it. Don't analyze. Receive. In the next 72 hours, 3 things will be thrown at you. Not maybe, definitely. The first tactic is the contrary evidence. It will arrive disguised as objective reality, bad news, a number that doesn't add up, a situation that seems to prove absolutely nothing changed today. The disguise is perfect because it just looks like life. The weapon against this is the word you declared today. When the contrary evidence shows up, and it will, say out loud, "This is not the decree. This is the last-ditch effort before the turn." The second tactic is the reasonable delay. You'll want to reread this tomorrow when you're more rested. You'll want to start on Monday because the start of the week makes more sense. You'll feel like today wasn't the best day to decide because you were tired or distracted. The disguise is smart timing, and it's incredibly convincing. The weapon is action taken within 24 hours. The enemy knows the freshest word is the most powerful, and every hour that passes dilutes the impact of what you received today. The third tactic is the theological doubt. It will arrive disguised as mature discernment, a legit question about whether this is really biblical, if it's just emotional manipulation, or if you're being naive. This is the most sophisticated disguise because it uses your intelligence against you. The weapon is the fruit. Don't ask, is this theoretically correct? Ask, what changed in me after this? If you feel firmer, clearer, and more positioned than you were 30 minutes ago, that is the fruit of recognized identity, not deception. And beyond those 3 external tactics, there is an internal one. You'll wake up tomorrow, and a part of you will try to summarize this as just a nice video I watched. The internal enemy uses familiarity as an anesthetic. It lets the emotion drain out and then offers normalcy as an alternative to movement. Respond with concrete action before you go to sleep, not more analysis. Type "protected" in the comments. The decree is sealed. Before we close, I want you to do one physical thing. Straighten your posture, shoulders back, chin parallel to the floor, not as a performance, but as the posture of someone who just received a royal decree. Now, let go of everything you've carried until now. The years of tired waiting, the pain of nights replaying what went wrong, the quiet suspicion that maybe you weren't special enough for the destiny you feel. Let it go now. Those weights no longer have an address in the person you are being called to be. I saw you lying there on that Sunday night, still in your work clothes, replaying your failures. I was there, not as a spectator, as a guardian. I saw the voice that tried to convince you that your destiny was a mirage. I heard every whisper that said maybe you weren't that special. And I responded with a battle fought in your name that you couldn't see, because it was being waged in dimensions beyond what your eyes could reach. Every door that shut when you were ready, I shut it. Not as a punishment, as protection. Because what was on the other side of that door wasn't what I had reserved for you. You aren't the one who was left behind. You are the one I held back until the right hour. And the right hour has arrived. Get up. What is yours is released. You are not the same person you were when this message started. Final declaration. Say it out loud wherever you are. I am chosen. The battle in my name is already won. I stand as an heir of the decree. It is done. It is done. What was delivered here has been delivered. Amen. Type "done" in the comments so that heaven records your public declaration. If this word reached you, think of one person, just one, who is stuck in that Sunday night feeling I described. Not your whole friend group. One specific person whose face you can see right now. Share this video with them today. And if they want to go deeper, the Miracle Journal link is in the first comment, waiting for them the same way it waited for you. The next video continues from here, because there is even more to who you are than could fit in these 30 minutes. You are not the same person you were when this message started.